Hi, this is Mrs. Pauley, the scholarship coordinator for the West Bend High Schools. I want to bring you some scholarship information. This is information that I was going to deliver to all the seniors, the class of 2023, back in December before winter break, and that didn't happen. So now I'm going to do this for you. As you know, may or may not know, I retired in August and am back for the district to do the scholarship process. So here's my contact information. The best way to reach me is my email address. I am on site 2 days a week from 8 to 10 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, though. So your scholarships will be due on Friday, February 10. Each of your applications should have 3 items attached to them. One would be your transcript, and because you are going to take finals next week. We cannot print any transcripts until then. And actually, it's 2 weeks and one day after the last day of finals that your transcripts would actually be set in stone and everything has sort of shook out. And so there will be an announcement over the PA on when those transcripts will be ready. I will print one for every senior in the class so that you will come and pick them up there and then make copies as you need. When do I think that might be? I'm thinking sometime around February 8th. So you're going to have a sort of a time crunch because I'm in a time crunch once you hand them in to do work and then get them out to the donors because your interviews are the week of March 13th. So the transcripts is the first thing you need to attach. The second thing is your ACT report. And I have a website there for you to go and grab your ACT report. When you took it, you would have received something either via email or in snail mail, the US mail, your ACT report. You can make a copy of that for the purposes of the scholarship. Super scoring will not be accepted by the scholarship interview teams. So just be aware of that. So ACT report is the second thing. The last one is the volunteer service report. If you have submitted hours to the College and Career Center to be put on your report, go into the College and Career Center, sign up in a binder to get that report. Additionally, if you have not ever submitted volunteer hours but have volunteer hours, go ahead and still submit them. But I would do it ASAP so you don't put those folks in the Career Center in a crisis sort of mode. So those 3 things, transcript, ACT report, volunteer service report, if you have one, should be attached to each of your applications. Submission of your applications. You'll actually bring me your applications on February 10, a Friday, to the Silver Lining Gallery. And if you can, you're more than welcome to hand them in before that Friday, because if I'm able to get your transcripts out the 7th, 8th, whatever date in February, you would be able feasibly then to turn them in on the 9th of February. But so anytime before then, but you have to have the transcript that you pick up from the Career Center attached. Checklist. The checklist is very important because that's all I look at when you submit your applications. I take that checklist and I database it so that I know what applications need to be going out to each of the donors and foundations. So that checklist, one piece of paper you print off, and that is on the website. And I'll get to that shortly because I will take you on a little tour of the local scholarship process that exists on the district website. I want you to be mindful of the fact that on pages 40 to 45 of the scholarship guide, which we'll get to when I give you the tour of the website, have very specific scholarship applications. They might have a little apple with a teacher for a teacher centered scholarship. They may have running shoes on it because that's for a scholarship where someone has been involved in cross country and or track. So I just want you to look at those and apply for those as well. Which a lot of times brings up, can a student receive more than one scholarship? The answer to that is yes, because the interviewers and the donors look at the criteria that has been set up, and they need to follow that criteria set up by the donor. So a lot of times students have the question, why do you have to submit multiple copies of the same application? And so I give you an example here. For instance, Columns wants you to submit 4. That's because one application is kept on file. 3 interviewers will each need a copy of your application when they go to interview you. And for instance, the Ziegler and the Ralphs, each of those interviewers need a copy of your application. So the Zieglers, there's 4 that you need to make a copy of, and for Ralphs, there is 3. So that's why you make multiple copies. Letters of recommendation. Please do not submit letters of recommendation unless the scholarship requires it. How will you find out which ones require it? A couple different ways. One is that you can look in the guidebook, the scholarship guidebook, and it tells there in bold anything special that each of the scholarships requires. It is also spelled out. I have developed and have on the website the scholarship reminder sheets. It will say on there which scholarships require a letter of recommendation. Our teaching staff has a lot on their plate, and so to write a letter where it's not required or recommended, I think they probably could use their time better. But no, the scholarship folks do not want to see letters of recommendation unless they've asked for one. Questions. If you need assistance, I will be on site the entire time you're here at school the week of February 6th, because on that Friday is when they're due. Otherwise, I'm here, like I said before, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. The best way to reach me is through my email address, and I'm more than happy, if you're having difficulty filling them out, to send me an email, and I will come in when it works on your schedule. And even if it's out of the hours I typically am here, I will come in and work with you, answer your questions, and so on. I will answer your email inquiries within 24 hours, except on the weekends. Next, the tour of the website. So when you come to find the local scholarship materials, you'll go to the West Bend School District website. And here it is at www.west-bend.k12.wi.us. You will click on schools and scroll down to either east or west. And I'm going to go to West High School. East would look the same same process. Then go to students, and you'll see the very last entry under students is 2022-2023 scholarship information. So this first document actually is how do you get to where I just took you. So that one you can print out if you think you might forget how to get there. Otherwise, no need to print it. Then the scholarship guide is where everything that's available to you is documented. Right here, my personal planning sheet, it's just sort of a sheet that I have inserted to sort of keep you on task. You don't have to do anything with that. It's yours. You don't have to hand it in. No one's going to see it. And so when you get to this page here, starts everything that's available to you. It will tell you whether it's academic or technical. So any scholarship that is listed as academic means your end goal is to receive a bachelor's degree. If it's technical, it's any program that's up to and including a 2-year program at either a technical school, a cosmetology school, truck driving school, those kinds of things. So the first one, a couple pages, are what we call our corporate scholarships, and then it goes into the Columns Foundation Scholarship, which is the bulk of these. So these are the page that I'm on now is strictly students that are going to go into the technical field. And you will see that they have different criteria. If there's a preference on what school you go to or what school you presently attended, and then the qualifications for it. Then we move into another section of the columns, and it's either technical or academic. For those, the interviewers will decide based on the criteria laid out by the donor Is this a scholarship best suited to be awarded to a student going into the technical field, or is it a scholarship best suited to go in to a student going into the academic area? And then we scroll down, and you'll see here all of these scholarships then are scholarships that must be awarded to someone going into an academic field, meaning their end goal is to get a bachelor's degree upon graduation. Then I want to point out to you at the very end, pages 40 to I think it's 45, are scholarships that have very specific applications. And so it's like the West Boys basketball, high school business program. Here's one that has to do with someone that's been involved in tennis. If you've volunteered or worked at the Boys and Girls Club, if you've had a parent go be in the military, either or a grandparent in the military, a veteran, and then so on. So those are some that I want you to be very mindful of, because they are really nice scholarships that you could be awarded along with others. Then I mentioned in the PowerPoint about a checklist. So this sheet here, actually you print just one, and it goes on the top of however many applications you're going to submit. And what this checklist does is it tells you if you're applying, for instance, for the West Bend Children's Theater, I only need one application. But if you're applying for the Columns Academic, you need to submit 4. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. One completely nicely filled out application will do work for both of them, but you need to make 5 copies, 4 to submit to Columns and 1 to submit to the Children's Theater. So remember that you need that piece when you bring me your applications. Next, there's a cost sheet here on all the different schools only in Wisconsin. So if you need help, stop in the College and Career Center to see either myself or Mrs. Garola. Then this is something that you would have received if you attended the scholarship program back in December on that Monday, the question and answer. So if you have questions, you might want to check that sheet first. And actually, I'll make some available in the College and Career Center for when I'm not there for you to pick up if you would like a copy. Then the reminder sheet for technical, and I mentioned to you before that this sheet will give you who all needs something above and beyond for their scholarship application. Okay, so look at that. It tells you what page the scholarship is on so that you can read further on what is required. So there's one for technical and there's also one for academic. So here starts the applications, the academic application. And the beauty of the things being online is that you can either print them off and hand fill them in, or you can download the application to your hard drive, jump drive, whatever, and then fill them in by keep keying them in. Is there a preference on whether you should do it one way over the other? Absolutely not. It's simply that we want you to do them as neatly as possible and as complete as you possibly can. And I would actually encourage you to do what I think probably in the elementary grades they used to call a sloppy copy. Just print one out, take a look at it, sort of tentatively fill things in so that when you do the final copy or you do it on the keyboard, that you have the information gathered. So here's what the academic application looks like. I'm going to ask you for some factual information at the top, a picture, and then here's where you will determine for me where you want those applications sent off to. So if you're applying, as I said before, let's say Columns and Children's Theater, you're going to make 4 copies of this application, check just the Columns box, set them aside, they're ready to be submitted. You're going to take it and make another copy for Children's Theater. You're going to have one application submitted that has just the Children's Theater line checked. Okay? And then here's your paragraph. And then don't forget that you need to have a parent's signature down at the end. So read that document well. If you're going to take a gap year, meaning you're going to do something else for a year and then resume your education, here's where you will be doing that. to let the scholarship people know that. The technical application is similar. So if you scroll down, again, there's an area here. So columns, and let's say you're going to do columns in the West Bend Masonic scholarship. You're going to complete 4 for columns, and it says that on that checklist, and then make another copy, West Bend Masonic, and just check the West Bend Masonic on that one application. And then we get down to the special ones that I showed you a little bit ago. And so you will notice that they look completely different than what you just have seen. Here's the Bob Nugent Al Carrier Scholar Athlete. And so it has to do with students who have been on the tennis team, are eligible to apply. I'll pick another one here. This is the partners of it used to be the Partners of St. Joseph's Community Hospital. Now it's called Froedtert West Bend Hospital Partners Volunteers. And so you'll see this application looks completely different as well. This is one that quite a few of our students can apply for. If you look in the book, depending on the types of business classes you took while you were here at the high school, they will be awarding as many as 6, 7, 8 scholarships in the amount of $400 to $500, which has been what has been previously given and awarded, and I'm not sure how much money they have to award this year. This one here, number of students would be able to apply for. A parent or grandparent has been a veteran and has served our country. So if we continue down, there's a number of them. This is a brand new scholarship given in memory of a student, of a teacher who was a teacher here in the district. And so here you see this will make it look completely different than the other ones, although much of the information in this one is exactly what you did for the common, for the application prior that I first showed you. So it's just the first page that's different. So you could be using the other pieces to complete that application. These last ones are all very specific to students who have been involved in the West Bend Youth Football, have played football here at the high school. This one is West Bend Boys Basketball, and then the Wildcat Wrestling involved in that. So that is pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about today. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me an email. I am more than willing to help you. This is pretty exciting stuff for me. I've been doing it for a lot of years, and I want all of you to do a really nice job so we can award what will be close to $950,000 to your class. And since I met in the auditorium on that Monday, we have had new scholarships in development and will be given to your class that you don't even kind of know about. And I'm just learned about some of them last night. So that's exciting. So the money keeps coming in that we want to award to you. And so if you are particularly a technical student, we typically don't have enough students to apply for all the scholarships that are in that technical bank. So if you're going to do a program that's 2 years or less, please consider filling this out. I'd be more than happy to help you with any questions you have. So again, send me off an email. I'll answer within 24 hours, except for on the weekend. Have a good day and good luck to all of you. I hope that you flood me on February 10th, that Friday, with a whole bunch of scholarships. So thank you.